For weeks, the football world was gripped by a single question. Could the GOAT go on one more time? Lionel Messi, 38 years old, about to step onto the World Cup stage for what many believed would be his final act, was suddenly mired in doubt. Reports swirled of a persistent, nagging hamstring issue, officially called muscle fatigue, that even kept him off the pitch in Argentina's last warm-up game. The crowd at Call Field in Texas had watched him warm up, then remain on the bench as Argentina won 2-0. Which Messi would arrive in Kansas City, the coach and fans held their breath. Would we see the weary warrior limping, or something altogether different? As Argentina's fateful opener against Algeria loomed, one thing was clear. The stage was set for a story nobody would forget. Lionel Messi, the heart and soul of Argentina's World Cup dream, arrived in 2026 under a cloud of anxiety. 5 years after ending a 36-year drought, the 38-year-old captain was rumored to be fighting a nagging injury. Inter Miami reported it as muscle fatigue in his left hamstring, not a tear, but the timing was terrifying. In the final friendly against Honduras, Messi sat on the bench despite warming up, and fans held their breath. Questions hung in the air. Could the great Lionel Messi still carry Argentina, or was this World Cup to be his swan song? The beloved veteran, expected to retire after this tournament, had not played a full game in weeks. Every step felt tentative. Back in Miami, the injury first surfaced in a Wild Leagues Cup game on May 24th. Cameras caught Messi grasping his left hamstring around the 70th minute, and he walked off against Philadelphia clutching his leg. Inter Miami doctors diagnosed it as fatigue overload, not a structural tear. That meant days of rest, but as one journalist noted, even that was a relief compared with worst-case scenarios. 3 weeks later, Argentina's camp opened under Kansas City skies. Coach Lionel Scaloni insisted, he's improving a lot, he's much better. But the media lingo muscle strain, fatigue did little to calm nerves. Every sprint in practice, every scan in the clinic, was watched. Fans joked nervously on social media that the whole nation's hopes rested on one leg. June 16, 2026, Arrowhead Stadium. The spotlight was blinding, the expectation crushing. Argentina's title defense kicked off against Algeria, and everywhere Messi went was met with noise, chants of Dale, Messi, and anxious murmurs about his fitness. Would the hobbled hero appear? Early in the match, the camera cut to Messi pacing on the sideline. He grimaced twice. Every touch, every jog into position, was under a microscope. In the stands, thousands of Albiceleste fans crossed their fingers. Around the globe, pundits held their breath. Under the lights, the magic began. At 17 minutes, Rodrigo de Paul slipped a perfectly weighted through ball behind Algeria's defense. Out of nowhere, Messi exploded. He took the ball in stride and, from the top of the box, unleashed a thunderous left-footed strike that rocketed past the keeper and into the net. Goal. 1-0 Argentina. The stadium erupted. Even Messi was stunned, sprinting to the corner as teammates mobbed him. In that moment, something amazing happened. Messi's normally stoic face broke into tears of relief. He pressed his jersey to his eyes, overcome with emotion after the goal. The crowd, 69,000 strong, mostly sky blue and white, could hardly believe it. Suddenly, every whisper of doubt was drowned out. Analysts on screen emphasized, "This is the Lionel Messi we know." Reporters buzzed that any fears of rust were gone. The first half goal had answered questions. He could still deliver on the biggest stage. We cut to Argentina's bench. Scaloni's eyes brimmed with pride. He would later admit, "I'm at a loss for words about Leo. What can I say? He's incredible." After the break, Argentina returned with the crowd buzzing. At 60 minutes, Alexis Mac Allister sent a ferocious shot that Algeria's goalkeeper fumbled. Rebound, it fell right to Messi, unmarked, about 20 yards out. With calm precision, the veteran slotted it home, 2-0, his second goal of the night. Even his teammates seemed to pause in awe. Midfielder Alexis Mac Allister would later say, "If anyone thought this team was better without Leo, today it became clear Leo is the most important player of all." Just 5 minutes later, magic struck again. Substitute Nico Gonzalez combined with Messi on the edge of the box. Messi pirouetted and smashed a blistering low shot that whistled into the corner, 3-0. It was the final touch, the 76th-minute goal that completed his first ever World Cup hat-trick. The home crowd gave a deafening ovation as Argentina's legend ran to the corner, fists clenched. This was history. Messi, at 38, became the oldest player to score a World Cup hat-trick and tied Germany's Miroslav Klose with 16 World Cup goals. There were no more doubts, only adulation. One camera caught him out of breath, eyes shining under the lights. Minutes later, with 12 minutes left, Scaloni waved Messi off the field. The hero's work was done. The crowd leapt to their feet as the captain bowed, tears in his eyes. ESPN called it a standing ovation to the song of the GOAT. On the sidelines, Messi embraced his coach and teammates, visibly emotional. The tension of the last weeks had evaporated. In just 79 minutes on the field, he had answered every question. Reclusive star or unstoppable force? The answer now lay in 3 goals and countless lifted hearts. By the final whistle, Argentina had never looked more confident. The hat-trick had crushed the doubts that dogged their captain. News reports the next day were unanimous. Messi had vindicated Scaloni's faith and ignited his team's defense with brilliance. In Buenos Aires, fans in cafes and bars erupted. Hugo Torres' camera crew even caught one fan visibly weeping with joy after the 3rd goal. Even away in an American sports stadium, a Mexican waves his scarf in sync with Argentine songs. This was more than a match, it was folklore in the making. But beyond the numbers was a deeper story: resilience. Messi arrived in Kansas City limping and uncertain, yet by end he was emotional triumph incarnate. He later admitted his tears after the first goal were unrelated to football, a reminder that the man carries burdens off-field too. Now, those burdens seemed lighter. As Messi walked into the tunnel, legs bleeding grass, we all knew this was not the end, but a brilliant new chapter. The GOAT had silenced his doubters with a night for the ages. Argentina's journey was far from over, but now, after that hat-trick, one thing was certain. Wherever Lionel Messi goes next, he will lead with inspiration. The question we asked at the start has its answer, and it echoes through the stadium: he's not done yet.